Hey guys, how was the trip to Jurassic Park?
Don't even ask.
Really? Because that makes me want to ask even more.
Fine. The dinosaurs got out. They ate hundreds of people, and we barely escaped a pack of Procompsognathus.
Triceratops gored my girlfriend.
Wow. I mean, statistically speaking, that's not supposed to happen.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
you ever think about the Jurassic Park sequels?
What?
Like, why are none of them good? The original is a classic, but they've never been able to make a good sequel.
What are you even talking about? We were just...
Actually, I have some thoughts about that. I feel like for this I should have a nice Jurassic Park type hat. Anyway, it's been 25 years since the original Jurassic Park, and since then there have been 3, and about to be 4, sequels. They've all been huge financial successes, but most people would agree that none of them even come close to the quality of the first movie. And I would argue that none of the sequels are even really good movies. There are plenty of good sequels out there. Steven Spielberg himself has made good sequels. So what is it about Jurassic Park that's so goddamn difficult? Why does it seem to be impossible to make a good Jurassic Park sequel? Well, if we're gonna talk about the sequels, first, we need to talk about
Jurassic Park.
Look, we've all seen Jurassic Park. If you haven't, it's weird that you're watching this video. We've probably seen it more times than we can count. It was the highest grossing film of 1993, the second highest grossing film of the 90s, and adjusted for inflation, the 17th highest grossing film of all time. Jurassic Park was a phenomenon. It changed cinema. And it's also very, very good. The movie has a simple script with a perfect structure and Spielberg working at the height of his powers, but let's dig deeper. Let's see what makes it so effective. I would argue the strength of Jurassic Park lies in 2 main components. The first is wonder. Here you've got the Spielberg of Close Encounters, of E.T., showing us the most incredible thing we've ever seen, living, breathing dinosaurs. And what I'd argue is the single best use of the Spielberg face. We feel the transcendent awe of the characters as they witness something impossible. The first half of the movie treats dinosaurs as a miracle, and witnessing them for the first time is a genuinely emotional experience.
They're moving in herds. They do move in herds.
And the second component is horror. Here you've got the Spielberg of Jaws. About halfway through the movie, the wonder of seeing dinosaurs in real life turns into the horror of what would actually happen if we encounter dinosaurs. The film becomes a series of suspenseful, terrifying, violent sequences as the dinosaurs hunt the human characters as prey. It's the interplay of these 2 components that gives the movie life. Spielberg treats the dinosaurs like the mythical, godlike creatures they are, both beautiful and terrifying. And then there's the matter of the characters' perspectives. Other than John Hammond, all the central characters are brought to the island not really knowing what they're going to encounter. Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm are coerced with the promise of funding for their research. And the kids are there to see Grandpa's fancy theme park. They are audience stand-ins, especially when you consider that the original marketing hid the dinosaurs, so audiences didn't get a good look at them until they were there in the theater experiencing it with the characters. Roger Ebert called movies a machine that generates empathy, and Jurassic Park, on a really simple level, demonstrates that. We empathize with the characters because they react as we would to these situations. We remain engaged with the movie because the characters behave believably in ways we can relate to. And so finally, at the end of Jurassic Park, what is the main idea? What lesson do we take away from it? Simple. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Don't try to play God and go against the will of nature. Basically, don't make a dinosaur theme park. So let's talk about the sequels.
Oh yeah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
Remember what I was saying about the 2 main components, wonder and horror, that made Jurassic Park work? Well, the sequels are already at a disadvantage because simply by nature of them being sequels, the first component, wonder, is gone. We've seen dinosaurs, the characters have seen dinosaurs, and they're still cool, but the awe and joy that comes from seeing them for the first time is gone. You can't put that genie back in the bottle. which puts the movie in a position of only having half as much to work with. So The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 pretty much focus exclusively on horror. The Lost World has like 2 minutes of wonder when the characters first encounter a herd of stegosaurs, but after that, it's a straight monster movie. And Jurassic Park 3 drops the characters on the island and is trying to kill them in a matter of seconds. The first movie is largely about the joy and excitement of discovery. And by the third movie, it's just, oh no, we got stuck on the bad island again, run away from the monsters. We're gonna deal with Jurassic World later because that's just a whole other complicated conversation. So, what about the perspectives in the sequels? This right here is the issue that plagues every Jurassic Park sequel. See, in the first movie, the characters go to the island not knowing what's there, but being confident that everything is safe and reliable since, you know, it's a giant professionally run theme park. But then everything goes to hell and we realize what a bad idea it all is and everyone gets the fuck out of there. And then, in the sequels, they keep going back. And thus, we have a disconnect between the audience and the characters. We know the island is a terrible, dangerous place where everyone dies, and so do the characters. So when they go there anyway, we can't relate to that decision. This is where the empathy machine breaks down. In The Lost World, Hammond wants to send people there to study the dinosaurs, which is a bad idea considering how many people he got killed last time. These people, including Ian's girlfriend, who he's presumably told all about the island, go anyway. Bad idea. Ian's daughter stows away on the trip to the terrible monster island. Bad idea. And the villains want to try to make a new Jurassic Park in San Diego, which is the worst idea because look what happened last time. And anyway, why does a movie about dinosaurs need greedy corporate bad guys? And even the film's best moments, like the genuinely incredible cliff sequence, are motivated by terrible choices. Obviously, taking the baby T-Rex into the trailer is gonna end badly. And it's a testament to Spielberg's great filmmaking that the scene works despite that stupid setup. Also, this doesn't really relate to anything else, but the transition between the first two scenes in the movie is one of my favorite scene transitions ever. It's so good. This is a movie about characters basically kidnapping Alan Grant and dragging him to the island to rescue someone who stupidly got stuck there. So pretty much the only person we empathize with is Alan, who's pissed that he ended up back there against his will. In the first movie, this happens to the characters. In the sequels, they do it to themselves. So now, we gotta talk about Jurassic World, because Jurassic World is its own conversation. I will give this movie credit for one thing. There's the seed of an interesting idea at the heart of it, because it correctly diagnoses one of the major problems with the Jurassic Park sequels. I mentioned how after the first movie, the wonder that was such a key component to it is gone. The thrill of seeing dinosaurs is no longer there, both for the audience and the characters, and Jurassic World recognizes this and designs the story as a meta-commentary on the nature of a Jurassic Park sequel, since the story is set in motion by characters recognizing that people are no longer awed by dinosaurs the way they used to be. And that's pretty much the only interesting thing about it. See, to get there, this movie needs us to accept that even after attempts at building Jurassic Park twice, with the public well aware of what disasters they were and how each time they resulted in a whole lot of people getting eaten alive, they would build the park again. And in a very telling bit of throwaway dialogue, the movie asks us to accept that John Hammond's dying wish was to have the park built again.
John Hammond entrusted me with his dying wish, and not once did he mention profit. Spare no expense, he used to say.
The same John Hammond that learned his lesson in the first movie, and in the second one stated that the dinosaurs should be left in peace.
These creatures require our absence to survive, not our help. And if we could only step aside and trust in nature.
I don't believe it. So that thing about the sequels where their fundamental problems were how the stories were set in motion by characters making decisions we can't empathize with, this is that, but way bigger. The premise of Jurassic World is that a dinosaur theme park can actually work great if you just do it good. but because of capitalism and the need to turn a profit and keep audiences happy and please the shareholders, integrity must be sacrificed by putting corporate sponsorships all over everything, and unsafe risks will be taken, like creating an uncontrollable, super powerful hybrid dinosaur that will eventually destroy the entire operation.
Wow, nice dino!
And also, it's bad to try to use the dinosaurs as weapons because we can't control them, but also they're our friends and will help us. And the classic dinosaurs will team up to stop the new corporate dinosaur. The movie seems to want to tell a story about how bowing to the demands of consumers and capitalism leads to disaster. But to get there, it ignores literally every lesson of the previous movies. It wants us to be nostalgic for the return of the T-Rex from the original movie, something it doesn't actually make clear, but forgets that the T-Rex's final scene in the original is there to represent the uncontrollable power of nature and how it's so much greater than us and we shouldn't try to manipulate it. And are we supposed to cheer for the dinosaurs in the climactic scene even though less than an hour ago they were brutally killing innocent people? Are they heroes, are uncontrollable forces of nature, are symbols of nostalgia, or what? I think the moment that best represents how confused this movie is when the kids get to the park, and for the first time, the iconic John Williams theme kicks in over an epic shot of a functioning theme park. The biggest moment of wonder and awe in the film doesn't involve dinosaurs, it involves crowds, and a monorail, and a Jamba Juice. So anyway, let's take a look at the perspectives in Jurassic World. In the previous films, the focus was put pretty squarely on the small group of people who would come to the island, so we experience the journey through their eyes. Instead, here, our hero is Chris Pratt, an awesome dude who's always right about everything, rides motorcycles, is casually sexist, has nice velociraptor friends, and drinks Coca-Cola. He also never learns anything or grows, and I almost wonder if the entire movie is trying to be a subversive commentary on blockbuster franchises with him as a parody of an action hero, but I think that's giving it too much credit. There's also Claire, for whom dinosaurs are just part of her job, who prioritizes the park above everything else and whose choices cause countless deaths. But she learns that being a mom is actually pretty good. And the kids have a bad time on their vacation. I am really trying to figure out what this movie is saying, what its perspective on dinosaurs and all of this stuff is, but I don't think it knows. I really, truly believe that Colin Trevorrow does not know what he's doing. Remember when he was gonna make Star Wars Episode 9? Yikes. The Jurassic Park sequels are all about people going to the island even though they know the bad stuff that's on it, people trying to make a dinosaur theme park even though it failed miserably the first time, and oh yeah, trying to take dinosaurs off the island, which is very clearly a terrible idea. You can actually pinpoint the problems with the Jurassic Park sequels in a handful of lines from the first two movies.
Gee, the lack of humility before nature that's being displayed here staggers me.
The genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
But your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Taking dinosaurs off this island is the worst idea in the long, sad history of bad ideas.
See, the problem with all these movies is that no one listened to Jeff Goldblum.
Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
And if we look at the trailer for the upcoming Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, what do we see? They're going back to the island. They're taking dinosaurs off the island again. They made another super hybrid dinosaur. And why did they build the theme park on an active volcano? How did they not know that was there? Like, Jesus Christ, how do you people not realize the mistakes you're making? How do you expect us to care when the premises of these movies are built on such stupid ideas?
Okay, but what I want to know is it even possible to make a good Jurassic Park sequel?
That's a great question, Shake. The answer is, maybe. The thing is, it has to be different. We obviously can't recreate the wonder of the first movie, but there's still endless potential to the horror. But the most important thing is to regain the empathy that drove the first movie. In other words, Stop giving us protagonists who make terrible choices. That means no more going back to the island, no more trying to build dinosaur theme parks, and no more trying to take dinosaurs off the island. It's time to remember the lessons of Jeff Goldblum and move forward. The funny thing is, this actually almost happened with Jurassic Park 3. An earlier draft of that script had some dinosaurs getting off of Isla Sorna and onto the mainland, causing a string of mysterious killings which Alan Grant gets called in to investigate. Now that sounds way more interesting than the uh-oh, we're stuck on the dinosaur island again story that we got, and I think it's a good representation of the direction the series needs to go in. I mean, Jurassic Park 3 ends with Pteranodons flying away from the island, and that's never followed up on. The shaving cream can of embryos from the first movie gets washed away, potentially setting up new stories, but that never gets returned to. You need to get the dinosaurs into the world, just not with the protagonists doing it for stupid reasons because they're trying to help. And this isn't just for a mini kaiju adventure like the end of The Lost World, but for an actual story. Some of the wonder of the first film could actually be recaptured with the images of dinosaurs in human civilization. And then, with the dinosaurs coming to the people, you're free to have humans act like humans and behave in ways with which we can actually relate. It's not that hard, guys. Just do that. Or you could stop making Jurassic Park sequels, because they're never gonna measure up to the first movie.
Hey guys, all this dino talk has got me thinking. How about we go to Jurassic Park next weekend? I just found this great coupon on pterodactyls.com.
Are you insane? We barely survived. The love of my life is dead.
Pat?
You know, we did narrowly escape death last time, but I just love dinosaurs too damn much to say no. Let's go.
Yes. What's your favorite dino?
Well,
Tyrannosaurus is my favorite dinosaur. He'd win in a fight with anyone, he is the best of them all.
DiGiorno delivery.
damn it, Matt, I'm editing a video about dogs in cinema. Yes, it's finally here. So yeah, as the cool kids say, we've got merch now. I'm wearing so many shirts. I think this was a bad idea. Oh God, how do I get out of this? Okay, is it weird that I'm wearing a shirt with my name on it? It seems kind of weird. Also, we'll be releasing new designs every so often, including We Heart Heartnet shirts, so if you have any ideas or requests, let me know, and if they're good, we'll make them happen. Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching, and as you just saw, yes, we do now have merch available, and I think that's pretty cool. So I know the video schedule has been a little bit wonky recently since I've had to be out of town some weekends, and I have to be out of town again this coming weekend, so there probably will not be a new video next week. But after that, no more interruptions, just new videos week after week for the foreseeable future, and there is some very cool stuff coming up soon. So if you're enjoying the videos, and you want to help us keep on making them, but also make them bigger and cooler, you should check out the Patreon. If you want to yell at me about stuff and get updates on what we're working on, follow me on all the social media links. You should listen and subscribe to our podcast, We Heart Heartnet. New episodes drop every Tuesday morning. And now go watch the behind the scenes video to see how we made this video essay, because it was a fun time. That is all. I will see you soon.